and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie, and this is the romance genreathon theme for August, which is sci-fi, fantasy, urban fantasy, paranormal. So each month I have been doing a recommendations and TBR video for you guys that are participating in Romance Genreathon with me, which is a year-long readathon where I pick different categories for each month and release those, my TBR and recommendations for those categories on the first Tuesday of each month. So, as I said, I have 4 different subgenres that I am talking about today and this month. They are extensive. I did not break down my TBR or my recommendations by these 4 categories. I just went through my Goodreads bookshelves and picked a couple of the subgenres that I enjoyed, or books that I enjoyed within these subgenres. So there are a lot of books to talk about, and I am also participating in Reviewathon, which is being hosted by NetGalley, and that is being held from July the 22nd until August the 30th, but I think they meant 31st because that is the last day of August. It is a 6-week readathon, so if you didn't participate or didn't know about it in July, you guys can still do it for August. The main thing is to clear out your NetGalley arcs that you may have. I'll get to that one later on in the video. If at any point you want to timestamp or time jump within this video, feel free to look in that description box. I will have all of the names of the books and where they fit or fall in down in the description box. So let's get to my TBR for Romance Genreathon, which, like I said, is sci-fi, fantasy, urban fantasy, and paranormal this month. I am going to be trying to read The Vampire, the Witch, and the Werewolf by Louisa Bacio. I don't know anything about this. I found this in my Audible Escape package that I have, or that I subscribe to, and I am also going to be trying to read this for one of the spaces on the Romanceopoly board. Next, I'm going to try and read How to Date Your Dragon by Harper. I have another book within this series. This is supposedly starting a magical system, and I hope that it is reminiscent of the originals because it deals with the magic system that is down in Louisiana. Let's see if I can get that out. In New Orleans, Louisiana. Mystical Bayou is the name of the series, I believe, and I need more of that in my life because the originals kind of left me in a, like, TV binging slump. Next, I'm going to try and read Grigori, Brothers of Ash and Fire, book number 1 by Lauren Smith, and I'm reading this because it was recommended to me by the Read Me Romance podcast. Leah, Mel, and Tessa have been talking about this series, and I want to jump into it to see if it's as good as they say it is. Next, I put on this one, may try and read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses a while ago. Was not my favorite, although everyone keeps telling me that this book is even better, and it's more involved. We will see. It is like 20 plus hours in audiobook, so we may not get to this one. Never know. The next book I'm going to try and get to is The Bound by K.A. Linde. This is the second book in the Ascension series that I started last month, and I need some answers, so there is a good chance that you guys will be hearing more about this book. The Everlasting Rose by Dhonielle Clayton. This is a YA fantasy, and I read The Bells last year, and I want to finish out this duet. I want to see if it continues on to be as amazing as The Bells was for me, so I'm going to try and read that one. And then finally, Covet by Micalea Smeltzer. This is a second book in the duet as well. And I read Enchant last year as a blogger, as a ARC reader, and I really enjoyed it. It did leave me off on a cliffhanger, so I kind of want to see if I get the answers that I am looking for within this story. Now, here are some recommendations for you guys that I enjoyed, books that I enjoyed from these 4 subgenres and think you guys might want to check out. The Bird and the Sword by Amy Harmon. I found this book to be very intriguing. It has a interesting magical system, and it definitely took me on a different sort of ride. I wasn't expecting it. If I'm not mistaken, it's about a young girl that now has been running for a little while and meets up with the prince or an assassin, maybe. I'm a little foggy about exactly what went on, but I do remember enjoying it. The next book is The Immortal Circus by A.R. Keller. And this is the first book in the Immortal Circus series, and yeah, it will drag you like into the world. It is about Fae, so it has a magical system, and there's shifters, and all that fun stuff that comes with the summer court, the winter court, and all of that. Next is The Bells by Dhonielle Clayton. Like I said, I really enjoyed this book. In this, you have these young ladies that weld their magic in color, and they are in color, whereas the world is in black and white, and the black and white go to the bells to get more life in them and more color in their lives. They are able to get transformed and everything like that. But at what price do you use that type of magic? Next is the Life of Anna series by Marissa Honeycutt. Now, I will warn you, this is more of a dark romance, but there is a paranormal and fantasy aspect to it. I didn't actually catch on to that subgenre of this mashup of a book or series until probably book number 4. So if you're ready to go down that dark hole of craziness, please check out this series. I'll probably be recommending this one as well in a few months for Romance Genreathon again, because it is, like I said, more falls into the dark romance series, because there are some very taboo and crazy things that go on before the paranormal fantasy aspect comes along. I would also like to recommend Enchant, which is book number 1 in the book that, or in the duet that I am going to try and finish of Covet. So Enchant and then Covet by Micalea Smeltzer. Or I enjoyed this book because there was a magic aspect to it. It did have a reminiscent feel of Legacies. If you're not familiar with that television show, it is a spin-off of the originals where there is a tribe breed and there is magic, and the person that is wielding the magic didn't know she had magic until she becomes of age, and then all of a sudden things start happening and she's making things happen, and it was fun, it was interesting, and I can't wait to get back into that world, and I hope you guys will take a chance at it as well. And finally, I am recommending the Fire Blood Dragon series by Ruby Dixon. Woo! This is an amazing series. All of these books that you're seeing flash across your scene are in Audibles, and it's a KU, and they're amazing. I really enjoyed it. She just released another book in this series, and I can't wait to read it. I got it on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm looking forward to reading it, because in this new book, it switches it up. In the first, I want to say 6 books, it's all about the male dragons that have come through the rift of post-apocalyptic United States and how the madness is driving them crazy. If you do read this series, I do suggest that you start from the beginning. The beginning one is rough, and it's because it's building this whole epic sort of series. Once you get 2 or 3 books into it, you start to understand the mentality of the dragons, and I'm here for it. Oh, by the way, it's super sexy too. It's nice and smutty and smexy and all kinds of yes goodness. Finding your true one person as dragon. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so on to my Reviewathon TBR. Whew. I can't give you any recommendations for this because I don't know what you have in your NetGalley queue, but here are the things that I'm going to try and get to before the end of the month. Like I've said in previous videos, my NetGalley, I have quite a few arcs on there. I have currently, I think it said 26 or 27 books that are in my queue in compilation. However, I chose the ones that will be due by the end of August to try and get to, as well as previous arcs that I had that I did not get a chance to get to. So, books that are being released. So I'm about to give you the books that I'm going to try and get to along with their release dates. I am finally going to read Red, White, and a Royal Blue by Casey McQueest. Yes, I have had this on my ARC NetGalley queue for a while. It released May 14th, and I just haven't got to read it. Sorry. Y'all hyped it really big on BookTube, and everyone was like, oh, I love it so much, oh, everybody needs to read it, and that turned me off because I find that if I read a super hyped book, I'm not necessarily on that train, and I don't want that. I want to go into it as blind and, you know, as non-judgmental as I possibly can. So I think the hype has died down enough that I can go into this one. I'm also going to try and read Party of Three by Sandy Lowe. As you can see, this was a cover request. It has 3 ladies on it. I am thinking Lady Minaj. Yes, thank you very much. I'm here for it. This releases August the 13th. The next book is How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Bryn. And this releases August the 27th. I am falling in love with Kerrigan Bryn's writing. She is getting up there to be my, like, historical romance writing guru, almost on the level of Tessa Dare with the snarky, fun female characters, as well as
Beverly Jenkins.
Yes, they are bringing it in my historical romance realm, and Kerrigan is leveling up to there, and I am here for it, so I'm excited that I got approved for this. The next book is Love and Other Mistakes by Jessica Kent. This book released July the 30th. This, I picked it because of the cover, and then come to find out it is a Christian romance, so I'm going to push my limits for this one. I did not know this, and if you have watched I want to say my Get to Know the Romance Reader tag, I put in there that I don't usually read Christian romances, and this happens to be one, so we're going to try it out. Fingers crossed for me, please. Fingers crossed. Next is She's Got Game by Laura Heffernan. Okay, so I got this one because of the cover, and the first couple lines is that this is a gamer. Our female character is a gamer, and she's looking for love, or finds love through gaming, something like that. And I'm here for it. This book releases August the 13th. The next book that I'm going to try and get to is Save the Date by Monica Murphy. This book released June the 25th, and I just haven't had time to get to it. I like Monica Murphy's writing style, so I wanted to check out this new story because of the cover. The next book is Handle with Care by Mary Hart, and this book releases August the 27th, and I started this series in the middle of the series. It is the Vet Movers series, I believe it is, and once I read that first book, the first book that I did read, which was like book number 2, I think it was. I believe this is book number 3 in that series. And I kind of want to see how everything flows, because I was a little sketchy on that other book. And now I want to see if it's me, if it's Marie Hart, or if it is the series. The next book that I will try to read is Parental Guidance by Avery Flynn. This book released June the 17th, and I got a physical copy of this, so I need to read it. It's an autographed copy or a signed copy from Avery, and it's a hockey romance. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I tried to read it last month, but I didn't find time to. Sorry. I just didn't. But I'm going to get to it. It's going to happen. The next book is The Bookish Life of Anna Hill by Abby Waxman, and this book released July the 9th, and I got this as a Amazon first as well as a NetGalley request. I liked the premise that it is a book reader's sort of romance, and I'm here for it. The cover's pretty awesome as well. Next is Passion on Park Avenue by Lauren Lane, and this book released May the 28th. It was all a cover request. Really, I have no clue what the series is about, but these covers are on point, and I requested this one, and I requested the next one, and I got both of them, but this one has already been released, so I'm going to try and get it read. The next book is The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye, and this book releases today. And I haven't read it yet, but I am currently reading it, so yeah, it's there. And then finally, the last book that I'm going to try and read is Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. And this book releases August the 13th. And this is going to fulfill my Romanceopoly space for firemen. And I'm super excited about that. I did not know that going in when I requested it. I think I requested it because of the cover or something got me. And I was like, oh, I want to see what this is all about. I'm starting to think that it's more women's fiction, but that's okay. I am here for it. I am about 10% into this one already, and I am enjoying it. It's about a female firefighter at that. Not to mention, the author has already put out that in her author's notes or in her acknowledgments, what have you, that she got factual information from her husband. So I am always here for when an author takes care and does the research for the material that they're talking about. Because it's talking about EMTs and firefighters, I'm gonna need some good reference points. Also, just in that first 10% that I have read, I am totally getting Station 11 feels, and you know that is one of my TGIT shows, so I'm here for it. I was destroyed last year when Ripley died and Vic had to go through that grief. Woo! Yeah, sorry if you haven't watched it and that was a spoiler for you. But that is those are my TBRs for Romance Genreathon and Reviewathon. Also some recommendations so you guys can join me in a Romance Genreathon for sci-fi, fantasy, urban fantasy, and paranormal this month. Let's get to it. If there are some of those categories that you guys think I should jump into, just mind you, I have 19 books on that TBR, so I may or may not get to your suggestions. And if they're big, long series, I probably won't get to your suggestions. But you never know. I'm averaging about 25 to 30 books a month, so it's very well possible. Very well possible. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I just named off, what you thought about them. Thoughts, no spoilers though, just thoughts. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.